Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with day 775 of What She Up To Now. She, of course, being Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, I started documenting my journey from the offline brick and mortar world of businesses over a quarter century in corporate America, 27 different businesses and industries, over 47 years in business. And I wanted to transition from that world to the online world. Because of course, like everybody else, I'd heard, oh, you got to get online, you got to do all this stuff online. It's so much easier, faster. You can do what you want in your underwear. Me, I choose to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, wearing my pajamas. And so a lot of times you'll see me as pajama grandma showing up because I want to convey such a stark difference from the corporate world and the three-piece suits or two-piece suits. We wore a lot of suits back when I was doing the corporate thing. And the professional, stoic, this is the way you have to be, to you can be however you want to be online and find your people, find your tribe. So that's kind of the pajama grandma's in a nutshell thing. Today, I said, are you dancing with skeletons in your closet, or do you have experience dancing with skeletons? And because it's Friday the 13th, which I always think is a pretty fun day, because everybody's so like worked up about it. Not everybody, but a lot of people get worked up about Friday the 13th and are superstitious. So I picked skeletons in your closet as the idiom for today. Now it's one of those idioms where they don't really know where it came from, but we all kind of can relate to it, right? We've all seen some murder mystery or some show that has somebody's got a big hidden secret and a skeleton in their closet. And British writers, for some reason in the 19th century, were really enamored with this expression, and they used it a lot. They used it in a lot of stories, a lot of mysteries, a lot of stories. Even today, I just recently saw on Netflix, and I can't remember what this show was, it was something about secrets. There was a gentleman who his wife was going to leave him and his daughter, and so he murdered her, and then he was a policeman, so he knew how to bury her body in the closet and in the wall, so he walled up part of a closet, and of course it was discovered when they tore down the building and he went to prison. So you can literally have skeletons in your closet, or you can figuratively have skeletons in your closet. And I would say all of us human beings have some kind of figurative skeleton in our closet. We have some hidden secret or something that we really don't share with the rest of the world, or we really don't want the world to know about it. Maybe it's something that we're embarrassed about. Maybe it's something from our childhood that we feel bad about. I mean, maybe we grew up in poverty. Maybe we grew up wealthy and we don't want people that we hang around with to know that. Maybe we had an experience that we're ashamed of. Maybe we were the victim of something. Maybe we were really sick. Maybe whatever thing we could possibly be embarrassed about or sad about, or if we had behaved or acted in a way that we didn't think was awesome at the time, we can actually carry that skeleton with us for a long, long time if we don't choose to overcome and let it go. And that can make us vulnerable and unhappy in a whole lot of ways. But we all have secrets or things about us that we just don't share openly with other people for the most part. I personally am going through vision challenges, major vision challenges, which I'm pretty much up there sharing with people now because I can't see or do anything if I don't have a massive magnifying glass or a 62-inch screen that I'm using. And at the cabin, I don't have a 62-inch screen, so I scored this new magnifying glass this year. I'm going to shine light in your eye. How cool is that, right? Pretty cool. And it's blue, fashionable royal blue. It's a new color, away from my traditional black ones. It's a slightly larger. It's got, I think, let's just compare. Oh, this one, the lights are kind of dim. Check out the difference in the light. Guess what? Light makes a big difference when you're low vision or no vision. So it's got only 3 lights, but it's got 3 big lights. This one has 6, but they're tiny lights and they're not nearly as bright. Like anybody cares but me. But that's an example of something that I am kind of embarrassed over. It's sort of a skeleton that's still in my closet, but I'm taking apart the bones one at a time and throwing them out and removing them from my closet because I'm overcoming the challenge. But there's a difference between sharing things that we're in the midst of and things that we've overcome. Sometimes, and part of why I document my journey and on day 775 is because I'm sharing the transition and I'm in the midst of this transition. Now, that's different than if I say, oh, I'm a victim, this is awful, this is so terrible, I'm going to build a group of people around me because this is such an injustice. To me, being a victim is a negative way of looking at and dealing with the situation, and not really dealing with the situation at all. It's staying stuck. But if I'm sharing my journey of bringing myself out of that situation, that's an empowering, positive way to look at it. Now, this is just my opinion, so if you don't like it, go ahead, tell me in the comments below, or just don't listen to me or follow me or whatever, but this is my way of looking at things. Why? Because I have been there. I have been stuck. I have felt like a victim. In my early 20s, I spent like 3 years bedridden with massive health challenges, and I didn't think I could do anything about it. And it wasn't until I said, F this, I'm done with this. I'm not going to lay here and die in this bed. I'm going to figure something out. It wasn't until I owned that anything changed in my life. And thank goodness it did, because I guarantee if I had stayed stuck there and in the way I was feeling and the things I was thinking about and the things I wasn't doing, because I was focusing on everything I couldn't do instead of looking for, well, what the heck can I do? Hey, I'm laying here, a lot of times I'm in such pain and agony, I can't even read, but sometimes I can read. So if I build on the times I can read and do things, I can learn through reading. I can feel better when I do things that make me feel better. And by building on those times that made me feel better, I was actually able to get out of that situation. It's still a situation and an experience I went through, but I don't feel victimized by it anymore. And I know that I can help other people to get out of that same situation. And I have, and I will continue to. It's kind of my passion side project, is to help people with chronic pain and chronic illness to lead a better life, because so often when we're in that situation, when we have that chronic pain, when we have chronic health challenges, all we think about, all we focus on, all we do all day is manage that chronic health challenge. And we're missing out on our life, because no matter what kind of an illness we have, there are instances of hope and of positivity and of possibility in between those moments of pain. And if we can build on those, we can create a much better life than if we're always in that focus on pain. So that's one of my skeletons in my closet, I guess. So talking about skeletons in the closet, I'm talking about experiences on the top 20 countdown to the live challenge workshop, which is starting March 23rd for 5 days of free challenge to help you create challenges in your own life and help you to use challenges as stepping stones for yourself to get the results that you never thought possible in days versus years, and to attract people to you. I work with business owners a lot, so it's really for you to look at and say, okay, how can I use a challenge to bring people to me, so that you're not always forever chasing after people or begging people or spending millions of dollars on advertising or trying all kinds of strategies, tricks and strategies that may or may not work. They might work once or twice in the short term, but long term, it's not a great way to build relationships with people and really build and grow your business. So March 23rd, we're doing that. So leading up to that, I was like, gosh, that's like days away. What can I do to move up toward it and not be bored myself and forget about it? Well, I'm doing a 20 biggest lessons that I've learned in business countdown. I just created a random list, not a random list, but a brainstormed list. Brainstorm isn't random. It's kind of random in terms of what is the most important. And I guess I would have a hard time saying of the top 20, what's the most important lesson that I've learned? And I'll probably think about all 20 and then boil it down and share, hey, this is my biggest life lesson. But right now, they're all super important, right? We're on lesson 10 today. So I've already shared, 10 lessons on 10 of the biggest lessons that I've learned. But again, they're not in necessarily any order. I just said, I want to do a countdown. I want to share the top 20 lessons I've learned. What are they? And I just started writing down the first 20 things that came to my mind, because for me, the first 20 things that come to my mind have been my 20 biggest lessons. If you were to sit down and do the same thing, and I'm going to recommend at the end of this that you do, so far, wherever you are in your life, what are the 20 biggest things that you've learned? What are the 20 biggest lessons that you learned? Because you know what? If I were to die tomorrow, I would love for my kids to find this list, because I'm sure, I guarantee I've brainwashed them into knowing these things and shared my lessons with them, sometimes in positive ways, sometimes in negative ways, right? My son still gets upset with me. He goes, do you know, Mom, when you pick me up from school, the first thing you would do is just dump everything that happened on your day on me. Not fair. And you know what? He's absolutely right. And I didn't even actually realize I was doing it. So that is a lesson I learned, and it's not even on this list. Don't dump your stuff on people that, number one, they can't do anything about it. Don't just vent to people. It doesn't do any good. It's not even on the list, but my point is 20 things on the list. And today was all about every person that enters our life for a reason. We might not understand it at the time, but if we look back, we always know why they entered it. Not just the good people, but the bad people too. I had a super duper bad business partner, and I could feel bad about that, and I could beat myself up, and I could say, oh my God, my life would be so much better if that person never entered my life. But the truth is, the crap that I went through in that business and with that partnership and with that person taught me so many things not to do and so many things to do before I ever joined forces with anyone again, that it was invaluable, right? It was a terrible experience going through it. It was like one of those, I can't believe this is happening. This is so unbelievable. How would someone even think of this type stuff, to coming out the other side and saying, oh my God, I'll never put myself in that situation again. And this is all I learned from it. But had I not ever had that experience, because I've always heard about people that have had really bad business partners, but mine up until that point had always been really good and really positive, and I thought I'd set them up that way. And this one, I didn't follow some of my own rules of choosing a partner, getting involved with somebody, and being in business with somebody. And since I violated those rules, I had some big lessons that I had to learn from that. So everybody, good, bad, and ugly, that comes into our life to show us something. A lot of times it's something, and the things that we're noticing are something about ourselves that we need to look at that we don't want to look at. You know, the things that we notice are a mirror and a reflection of what we're really thinking inside. So here's an example. If I start noticing people that are overweight or not exercising enough, it's not because of them. It's because I need to get my rear in gear and get moving some more and get moving again. And that I know, even without stepping on a scale, that I am gaining weight. And that I'm noticing that is telling me, it's a signal to me that I need to pay attention to that aspect of my life. So that's just a little example. So the top 20 things, and today all about everybody and every experience we have is here to teach us and show us something. And it's hard to fathom, but the most difficult challenges that we've had in our life, the most painful situations, are actually the ones that we usually grow the most from, or we learn the most from. If I think back on my life and I look at the successes, the high points and the low points, it's always the low points that lead to my next high point. It's always the lesson that I learned, the big challenge that I overcame that leads to a breakthrough and massive growth. And it doesn't have to be that way, but it just seems like that's how we grow and develop and learn. That's how we learn. We learn from the pain. Pain causes us to make changes and to ask questions and to look for answers and solutions. If everything's hunky-dory and fine in our lives, we get complacent and we just kind of go through the motions. And if I look back on my life, I've seen that, where there have been periods of my life where, hey, everything's going smoothly. I'm clicking along in my business. I'm clicking along in my corporate career. I'm clicking along in the family. And then boom, something will happen that I need to pay attention to, and it's a lot of times because I'm just clicking along and I'm not pushing myself to do more and be more and have more. It's because I'm getting complacent and saying, oh, this is good. This is awesome. This is good enough. And then the universe bangs me in the head and says, yeah, no, you can do a heck of a lot more, so stop playing small and get your act together. I get a lot of those messages lately. What else is going on? At the cabin, having a good time celebrating my birthday yesterday and just enjoying time with my sisters and my little baby, not baby, she's 4, gonna be 5, my granddaughter. So that's always fun and exciting, and I so appreciate her parents letting her come with. If you need help or have questions about anything, ask in the comments below. Again, I say, if I don't know, I will hook you up with somebody that does, or something that can help you get to the next thing. Because I've been there. I've been frustrated trying to figure something out and not feeling like I knew where to go next. And usually all I need to do was ask someone the question, or just pose the question, and asking the question opened up my ability to look for or see solutions and answers. So when in doubt, ask. That's all I've got today. I'm going to go have some fun and continue to answer birthday wishes, because I got so many birthday wishes yesterday. I could not possibly answer them all and do anything else. So I will respond to them today. So if you sent me a birthday wish and you haven't heard from me yet, thank you so much. Made my day very, very special. Have an awesome day. And again, if I can help you, hit me up. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow with another update on what I'm working on, what's working, what's not, and some of the lessons that I'm learning along the way. All right. Have a great day.